Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what legends have found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey, Let's Hang Out listeners, we're officially on our summer hiatus, but we want to share with you a few episodes of some queer podcasts that we also love. And of course, if you've been listening to Let's Hang Out for a long time, you know we are obsessed with the hosts of Coming Out Pod, Lauren and Nicole. They have some incredible guests come on to share their coming out journeys, and they've been doing it for a long time, just like us. So this is their 100th episode, which we feel like gives you a good sampler platter of all the beautiful, hilarious, and dare they say, sexy content from Coming Out Pod. So enjoy.
Hey y'all. Hi. Welcome to Coming Out with Lauren and Nicole. We are a weekly podcast where we have queer folks on from all walks of life. They tell us the tales of how they came out to friends, family, and the world at large.
Because who doesn't love a coming out story?
Well, considering we're on our 100th episode.
It's our 100th episode!
No one doesn't like a coming out story. We made it. Everyone loves a coming out story.
We did it!
We are so excited. We decided in a fit of celebration, really. A fit.
I had to bite down on a leather strap.
It was really...
I had a seizure of celebration.
Yeah, a seizure of celebration. Oh, God. We decided that instead of having a guest on, we would have many of our past guests on via clips from their episodes.
We're doing a clip show!
We decided to do some highlights, some memorable moments, just a smattering, a cornucopia of good queer tidbits. And it was, as I said to Lauren before, the Sophie's choice of podcast clips.
Mm-hmm. It's true. She did say that.
That's what I said. Because there were so many. I mean, there were nuggets of gold in every single story of the past 99 episodes. And we are so grateful to every single guest that we've had on. And this was like the impossible task. So this is by no means like a best of. It's just some stuff we remembered, and we hope that you like it too.
And it was so awesome to get to go back and re-listen to a lot of these, because this has been such a wild ride. And yeah, it's been such a joy. And we've included some never before heard bits on this. There's some outtakes. There's some, we ended up cutting it from the episode, but it's the 100th episode. So now we're putting it out there. So yeah, we're so excited, for you guys to take this super queer walk down super queer memory lane with us.
Mm-hmm. We are thrilled about it. It was fun going through these clips and remembering and seeing how the podcast has grown, and just there's been a lot of joy in this. So we hope that you will find it joyful as well. Enjoy this episode. Happy almost Pride. Happy 100 episodes of Coming Out Pod. We could literally not have done it without you. You're amazing. Thank you.
Y'all.
We love y'all. Enjoy. Oh my God.
Well, all right. So, what the fuck is this podcast even about? Okay.
Sorry, listeners.
No, it's fine. No.
I'm gay. Don't panic.
Nicole just forgot what our podcast
Because I was like, we got so many things to talk about.
That's fair. Listen.
It's fine. But so how do you identify? There it is.
I identify as a wide receiver of the New York Giants. I've been wanting to say that for 40 years.
I'm so glad we gave you a platform to do
Yeah.
that. Today, we are graced with the presence of Mandala Rose. Oh my goodness. I love, this is so dumb. I just said her name, and I have, I'm blushing. You guys can't see it, but I probably have, hives on my chest.
I can
right now.
hives all over.
I'm blushing.
I'm the only one not blushing, and that's just because I'm too fucking white.
It feels like you would be blushing even more for being
Don't try to reason out my
statement.
statements. Just move past them gracefully.
Got it. Noted. So for those of you who don't know, Mandala and I met at Klexicon this year, and I don't even know. Hit it off? Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah. I gave you my hoodie.
Oh my God.
I'm freezing.
Yes, for those of you who were not there to witness this or didn't see the panel online, you guys should totally go to YouTube and watch it. It was great. But during the LGBTQ actresses panel, Mandala, halfway through, has the mic. She and I are sitting next to each other. She has the mic, and she's answering a question and just walks off stage while answering a question. And all of us are like, where is she going? I'm thinking you're going out into the audience. I'm like, what's happening? And then she grabs something from where we'd all been sitting, all the actresses beforehand getting ready, the little green room space. And she comes back on stage, never missing a beat, continually talking into the microphone.
Classy.
And then comes right up to me and was like, sorry guys, I saw that Nicole was cold, and so I got my hoodie for her.
Oh my God. Chivalry.
Oh my God. And the room erupted. It was amazing. It really was the most chivalrous thing. And there's a picture of it that I've shown many people of this moment in time. And so anyway, that was the first point of connection. And then we connected more because we both have sibling loss in our lives. So that was another thing that came up a mere 15 minutes later. So it was you guys should watch it online. It was great. But no, it really it was so amazing connecting, and the two of us have become very fast friends. So yes, I blush when I say your name. But also you can introduce yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Mandala.
I was so in love, and it was so terrible when it was over that the idea, I'm tearing up right now, the idea of doing that to another person, the idea of whatever. And that's not to say that, I love my boyfriend. That's not to say I loved the guy I dated before that guy. I liked some other people. It's not to say that I didn't, it's just different. And I don't know. I wonder if sometimes that's just because people be like, oh, do you guys ever talk? No, I can't talk to her because I will go and wash her car and just I can't. I can't. I legitimately I can't smell her. I can't. And nope. And that's weird. It's there's so many things about this. This is a very personal podcast, you guys. I'm not going to make you. I'm not going to make you not take. You're going to keep all of this in here.
No, we've all talked about it. Yeah.
There's one thing I do want to ask, and I'm going to preface it by saying we absolutely can cut this because, also, it's something that is difficult for me to talk about too. Yeah. So we may even do it because I might go I don't know if I can keep that in there. But you said, you said something that really resonated with me where you were when we first asked the question, you're I'm a queer, bisexual, lesbian who has a boyfriend. Okay, so why lesbian?
I masturbate to women.
Me too!
Exclusively.
Me three, but that's not, for me, it's not surprising.
Also, I think that the way I have sex, it's hard. I couldn't explain this to a straight girl. I have queer sex.
Yes, yes, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I totally know what you mean.
Even with men, I'm sorry,
I think I do because it's almost like it's not like I'm having queer sex with him.
I know. It's so
It's almost like
interesting.
you're going to have to have sex. You're having sex with a gay girl.
But it's like, I so get that.
Am I making sense?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like you're having sex however you're having sex, but I'm receiving it as a gay woman.
I guess so, yeah. And it's like, and there's a different, I'm sorry, but it's, queer sex is different. It's different. It's not, this, I think in a more heteronormative relationship, sex, you can say, okay, so this happens, and then this, and then this thing, and then this, and then it's done.
Yes.
And queer sex is like, it could entail a lot of, it could entail like, we got to look up a word in the dictionary.
Yes,
and then we got to get back in here, and then I have to cry. And then in the middle of the crying, I've had 3 mini orgasms. I think that was an orgasm. Is that an orgasm? Then I get angry at you and hate you. I punch the pillow. Then I actually have an orgasm. Then I go down on you. Then, you know what I mean? It's a different.
Yes. It's so, because with straight,
Stop for a second, because is the cat okay?
So you're 16. You were in New York City, which is kind of like that's Grand Central for queer women.
Yeah.
Like especially I feel like in that time in the 70s.
Right.
So once your parents knew, and it was out there, then what? You're still
What
living
happened?
at home.
So,
yeah.
So my mom hands me this book called "On Becoming a Woman," and so that I would understand.
Okay.
There was nothing. There was no Ellen. There were no role models. And people were not out. So you didn't know who was gay and who wasn't. And I think maybe Nicole could read this.
Renee brought the book.
This book was published in 1958.
So she gave you this book after you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it came with the tampons, right?
Yes.
It was a free book that came
a free
with.
book, and somewhere in here, this is all about homosexuality. You can take a look.
Wow. Okay.
see it.
I will.
It's so weird
okay.
to see
Hold
that
on.
word in a book. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
This is the chapter
I'm
on
gonna-
teenage crushes.
I'm gonna read a passage here on Teenage Crush, chapter 5. Okay. Oh wow. All right. A crush can be directed toward practically any one person. Early in her teens, a girl is likely to develop a crush on an older woman. Perhaps you've already gone through this stage. Everything your scout leader did was perfect. The way she did her hair, the way she walked, her clothes, her ideas. You worshipped her until you were a pest to all concerned, including her. Your adoring eyes followed her, and you worried if she showed interest in another girl. Your mother couldn't help minding just a little when you quoted this object of your crush as the final and absolute authority on any and every subject. After all, until then, your mother had been your one and only female crush.
Oh, whoa, that took a turn.
Yep. Wow. Hey.
Not see that coming.
Getting Oedipal here. There's nothing wrong with idolizing a woman if it's kept under control and if she's a person worthy of your respect. As a matter of fact, it helps to have a model on whom you can pattern your behavior. And it's a step in learning to be a woman, to learn to admire a good and admirable one.
Okay.
Girls who experience this kind of crush are often afraid that it indicates a tendency toward deviation from the normal called homosexuality, sexual relations with the same sex. Homosexuality is whispered about, but seldom faced as a problem, probably because very little is known about its causes and cures.
Wow.
Most of the causes are mental in origin, not physical, and therefore exceedingly difficult to diagnose and treat. The violent crush, which almost every teenage girl experiences towards some older woman, is usually not worth worrying about. If the crush translates itself into a desire for physical contact with a member of the same sex, it is time to ask guidance from a physician, minister, or trained counselor. And then it continues on about, like, there's the crush that can develop between two girls of the same age. And then it, like, goes on to all of that.
Oh, I need to read that.
Oh, my God.
This is
that's
holy shit. Yes, and I read it over because I knew that's who I was, and I read it over and over. And then there was a book that saved me, and this is why I call myself Dyke. Do you know Our Bodies, Ourselves?
Yeah.
Yes.
By the Boston Women's Health Collective.
Yeah.
The early edition had a chapter called "In America They Call Us Dykes," and there was a picture of a woman in a little fisherman's cap, and they were at the head of a parade, and totally different message than this book. And that chapter, "In America They Call Us Dykes," I read it over. As much as I read this one over, that was a positive thing. Yeah. And it came out like pretty soon after I had gotten this book. Okay. And that book saved me. That chapter saved me.
Wait, this is a total sidebar. That what you don't even know this, but like whenever it was that we met, I don't remember the situation or whatever, but total crush on Lance. It was like, no, on me, on. Is there another flames in the
I had a crush on you.
Shut up!
I'm not doing a bit. Didn't I tell you that when I was like, you're doing the show? I totally had a crush on you. You had that girlfriend who I got in a fight with.
Yeah, we're still together. Like that's why I met her on a. Well,
I asked Martha about you.
No.
Yeah, I did. I was like, what's up with that girlfriend who sucks? And she was like, have some water, Lauren. Oh my God, no, totally.
Oh my God, guys.
Totally.
This is such a landmark moment in the closet.
I can't believe that. We've only met like a few times, but I was like,
listen.
I totally was. When I saw you on that show, I was like, I hung out till like 3 a.m. that night. I'm tired a lot. I don't do that. But I was like, what's up?
I thought you didn't. Not that you didn't like me. I just thought like you were so like chill.
That's how I am when I like someone. I'm an idiot. I'm like a guy. I'm really dumb.
I had no fucking
No, I totally did.
Oh my God. I just remember she made me laugh so hard, and that's what I said in my message.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do if I like somebody. I'll be like, I don't care about anything, but like, here's funny.
You're welcome.
Bits. You're welcome. And then I go home alone, and I'm like, God, why am I always single?
Hi guys, it's Nicole and Lauren, and before we get into today's episode, we've got a little announcement.
The pod's been up and running for 3 weeks now, and we have been getting some really fantastic feedback from the queer community and beyond. What we haven't been getting, however, are lucrative multi-million-dollar sponsor offers.
That's right, Lauren. Now, at first we were upset by this because we both really want free posh mattresses and meal kits. Namely because I have trouble sleeping.
And I can't cook. But then we realized, wait a minute, we have to seek out advertisers who are specific to our audience.
And with that in mind, we'd like to offer up our on-air promotional services to companies who have long been allies of the LGBTQ+ community. Let us sell your products for you with catchy slogans like
Birkenstocks, they're like wearing an indigo girl on each foot.
Converse, who needs arch support when you've got the support of the lesbian community?
And of course, Doc Martens. Let your feet come out for you.
But being a queer woman isn't all about the shoes.
It is a lot about the shoes, though.
Oh my God, I know, right? Yeah. I mean, like, I wear Doc Martens 90% of the time, I'll be honest.
Weird.
Yeah. But we can also promote things like LGBTQ movies. For example, Call Me By Your Name. It's like Carol, but with boys.
Or Disobedience. It's like Carol, but with Jews.
So if you're an advertiser with queer clientele, hit us up.
And let our knowledge of the LGBTQIA and whatever letters we've recently added community work for you.
Thanks for listening to this very real and definitely not a joke call for sponsors. And now, please enjoy today's episode of Coming Out with Lauren and Nicole. So the first day, we go out onto the turf in this big old stadium outside, bright and early, 8 a.m., and we see all of the counselors, or at least some of them, scrimmaging across the way. So just warming up with each other and whatever. And of course, we're in horny teenage girl mode and like trying to check out all the guys from the New Zealand team and the whole thing. And we see this one guy with like baggy lacrosse shorts and like kind of a baggy gray shirt and probably like a little thin in looking back at it because we were young and probably looking at this guy like he was an adolescent boy. But anyway, so like a smaller guy but like shaved head, hat, like cap, the whole thing. And we're like, oh my god, he's so hot, like kind of tan and whatever. And so then the head coach like blows a whistle, all of the counselors come over and we're all like checking this guy out. And as the counselors get closer, this guy, air quotes, takes off her hat and is a girl with a shaved head. I'm sure gay because come on, like college field hockey player, shaved head.
If you were shaving your head back in the 90s and you were a girl, now it's just like you live in Silver Lake, but at the time, at the time it was a pretty good indicator.
So like, and it was like an eruption of whispers around our friends, like, oh my god, it's a girl! I can't believe I thought she was hot. Oh my god, it's so weird. Like, and of course, like I'm chiming in because what the fuck else was I supposed to do? And I was like, yeah, it's so weird. And I'm like looking at her and I was like, why do I still think she's hot? I was like, I am still completely attracted to this person. Like it changed for me in the sense that I realized she was a girl and that was like a whole other thing. But I kept trying to convince myself to see this person as a girl and being like, she's a girl, not a boy, so you must just be attracted to her because you thought she was a boy. But in my head, I was like, that's not it. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. You're attracted to that person that you're looking at right now.
I've always felt very strongly about my best friendships. I've had a lot of trouble with the notion, going back to amatonormativity, if I have a girlfriend, she's supposed to be the most important person in my life. That was always tough for me because I put so much investment into my friendships. I was like, no, that's my most important person. So over the years, I would prioritize that person. And I was like, just because I started dating someone, that doesn't mean that now they're supposed to be number one in my life. Anyway. So, like, I would try a date here or there, but it just never felt good. And so finally, 2 years ago, after I had tried going on dates with people and was just feeling awful about it, a friend of mine who is both asexual and aromantic was like, hey, so do you think you might be aromantic? And my first thought was no. Because I was hearing it as anti-romantic.
Oh, interesting.
And just that would be the meaning of it because I didn't know much about it. And there are people on the aromantic spectrum who are what are called romance disgusted, like just like there are people on the asexual spectrum, right, who are sex disgusted. Like they don't want to see it, they don't want anything to do about it. There are definitely people on the spectrum who feel that way, but I'm not that way. I ship everybody. Right? I love. And so I thought, no, there's no way that that's me. And then my friend's non-binary, so then they started talking more and more about it. And I went, oh. And I went home and I hopped on Google, which is a thing I can do in this coming out that I could not do when I was 14 and, trying to figure stuff out. And I Googled it and I just went, holy fuck. This is it. And I started typing and I typed up like, I call it like my manifesto. It's this 11-point thing. And I posted it to my Dream With. And it was like, this is my coming out post. I finally figured it out. Oh my God, I'm aromantic.
I never actually officially came out to my dad. I never said the words to my dad. And then... and he knew because, of course, my mom, I was just like, yeah, my mom's going to tell you. Like, I don't have to. I was never that close with my dad. I was always closer to my mother. And it wasn't until later in life when my dad was sick with emphysema and he passed away about 6 or 7 years ago. And he was, very supportive and loving and he's lying. See, this is when it's going to get... I love you so much. He's lying in his hospital bed, and we literally thought this would be the last time, like, all of my brothers flew in to see him, and he's lying in his hospital bed, and he, I was dating a guy for a good like 3 or 4 years at this point. And this is when I lived in San Diego, by the way. I mean, this is not too long ago.
Yeah.
And he told me that he loved me and that we need to take care of my mom. And I said, yep, Dad, you know, all 5 of us are going to take care of your mom, all 5 of your boys that you raised. And he said, all 6 of my sons.
Oh my God.
And it was the statement of my boyfriend at the time was like one of his sons, was one of his people that are going to take care of his wife that he loved. So it was just like literally, I mean, to this day, like this is years ago that happened, and it still gets me every time to think about it. It was one of the ultimate signs of trust and love and just honesty of like, I know and I'm okay with this. And
it's incredible that I'm alive.
Yeah.
Like my sexual identity really could have killed me at any time. And it didn't. It didn't. And like to be sitting here and telling this story, I almost feel like I'm talking about someone else because like I'm so okay.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But so I went home and I came out a second time. I went home and I sat down with my mother and I went, it's been a long time since we first had this conversation, but we need to have it again. And it went pretty much the same way, actually, except for the fact that I said one thing to her that I don't believe anymore, and it's the most important thing. It's my biggest takeaway from all of it. I burst into tears and I said to her, if I could change this about myself, I would. I've prayed and prayed and prayed, and I can't do anything about it. I'm gay. I don't believe that anymore. I don't. I would not change being gay for a million is $1 million trillion a thing? I don't know.
It's a lot of dollars.
It's for all of the dollars. I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I wouldn't.
I know, it's one of my
think,
favorite things about me.
Right.
Yeah, I feel
you
that.
know, it makes me so much more unique.
Yes.
And the thing was that everything that I was when I was growing up, like I said, being the child of immigrants, it's a weird thing. You don't want to be unique, but you're already unique. Right? So everything that I rejected along the way, I now have come full circle into being like, dude, I'm fucking special.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But so it was a long trip there. So then once I finished the acting class and I went and came out and I came back and then I met my now beautiful wife and went to therapy and actively changed the relationship that I have with my family. You know, I bought my own wedding dress. I walked myself down the aisle. I didn't have any family at my wedding other than my chosen family. I had one best friend or 2 good friends that came to my wedding, but other than that I was completely alone. And that was when I realized that the cycle had to change. So that was when I came home and I got sober and I was like, I'm going to feel all of this and I'm going to take control of who I am and how I let things affect me. So I took a break from having any connection with my family. And now I just kind of see things, I just see things differently. I see that my sexual identity, I should say, I see that it eats away at my mum. I see that she wishes that she could be different. I see that she wishes that she could be better, but that she can't. That I used to get angry and I used to cry and we used to have these conversations that went nowhere. And at a certain point, I just realized that that's not what I want for her and that's not what I want for me, and that I get to choose how I feel about my life.
I then, and this will be no surprise to you, Nicole, I then decided that the best way to subtly come out to my friends back home would be to write a song that I don't sing or play any instruments, which again, somehow I wrote a musical, but I don't do either of those things. But I was listening to a lot of Ani. And so I wrote a song that when I went home for, I guess, spring break or summer break, whatever, like taught to all my friends back home. Everybody was like, so you're gay? Like you're a lesbian? I was like, well, I mean, it's like, it's a song. But I mean, and that, I mean, the song was like,
please.
I'm fucking your girlfriend. Is that too hard to understand? I'm fucking your girlfriend. She's getting pleasure from my softer hand.
Oh, I mean, it was like, my God, I'm fucking dying right now. I'm literally
You're dying? I just did that on a microphone. I'm really dying.
Best thing I've ever heard in my entire
such deep Ani influence.
So much.
It definitely sounds like a B-side that she didn't release.
Thank
so
God
you
you
nailed you nailed the tone.
I like being a jock. So,
Mom was a field hockey player too. She didn't have a Reiki experience, but she was also a field hockey player.
Now in college, I can remember one gal who her name is Terry. And
# find Terry.
I don't know if that's TERI or TERI.
Oh, see? Look at this. God, it's all the I names.
But I just remember so well looking at her and thinking, God, she's beautiful. And she had very short hair, very short brown hair, great athlete, china blue eyes. And I know, and I've thought about it for years. For years, I keep thinking back to that sensation because it wasn't just wow, that's a good, I think a lot of women are beautiful.
Nicole's face is amazing right now. I'm so sorry this isn't a visual medium.
I'm in shock. Anyway.
She's literally biting her thumb.
Now, I will say, though, I've never had that sensation since, which is why I thought, well, that's so odd. What happened? Why did that happen? And now I have all sorts of theories about it. In terms of how we have evolved as a race and how we've evolved as, the human species. And I think that there's tons of crossover between male, female, and all things in between that. It's actually too shocking to think that we could possibly be one way or the other.
Yes, totally agree.
But now it makes much more sense to me that we are, in fact, variations on multiple themes. And,
Did Terry know?
I'm excited to ask this question because
Yes.
we've talked around it, but I don't know the answer. So how, and I'll say the word currently, how do you currently identify?
Yeah, so I've a couple answers to this question. The most basic thing, I've been, since I agreed to come on the podcast, I've been thinking about trying to put language to things I've been feeling through but haven't necessarily put the language to, and that's kind of why I'm here, to sort of talk through this. A lot of my period of confusion is now.
That's so great.
Immediately now. Or just trying to sort out and like what language how much language I need, how much language I want. So the clearest thing is I would identify as a human woman.
Yay!
Great.
Love it.
I'm a human woman. And then I want to share this thing that I did yesterday because I was like, I needed to get out of my head about it.
Yeah.
It's like, because I think the next closest thing would be bi.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
but
great. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I know. I don't yet know whether I feel like I am it's two questions, whether I both am allowed to own that and can truthfully own that. So here's what I said I was like, okay, what are ways of identifying that feel truthful to me, even if they are kind of muddy or aren't real ones that people say.
No, and there
Sure,
are.
yeah.
None of them are real when you get right down to it.
Shakespeare made up words.
That's what I always
That's
tell
true.
myself. Whenever
That's it.
someone's like, I don't know, it doesn't exist. It's not Shakespeare made up words, guys. Do it.
That is
Anyway.
true. Okay, so here's my 10 things that felt true to me, and I'm going to say them fast because it sounds really crazy. If it seems like I thought really hard about all these. Okay, here we go. Bi-ish, bi-light, baby queer, 80-20, a quarter cup, down to clown, horny, always excited for dyke day but don't have a dog, interested in the whole menu even though I often get pasta, open.
That was the best. We're using all of those.
My God.
Okay. Those are amazing.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/Lez Hang Out today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lez Hang Out.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone, this is so exciting.
Dana Piccoli, who was our guest on episode 31, has written her first book. It is called Savor the Moment, and it tells the sexy, sexy story of Natalia, the lead singer of a rock and roll band, and Maddie, a pastry chef.
There's love, there's romance, there's flirtation, there's yoga, there are pastries, and there is lots of sexy sex. Sex.
Hold on.
There's love, there's romance, there's flirtation, there's a yoga class, there's a rock concert, there are exes, and there is sex, 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 sex. A lot of sex.
Lauren, what do you have to say about the sex?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good sex.
But
so you were trying to be really respectful of me in the short jeans shorts.
Listen, but you listen. Nicole is also aggressive is the problem. And so what happened was we would be in getting dressed, and there was the women's dressing room and the men's dressing room. And in theaters, everyone is comfortable. You just run around in your bra and underwear because it's theater. And and everyone's dancers, so dancers are practically naked all the time. And I came from one, Montana, to a pretty Christian background. 3, incredibly modest to the point where I brought to my college freshman year, I brought not just a one piece and shorts to Southern California. And I just remember coming in and being like, oh no, we're all getting dressed together. This is, oh my gosh. But it was cool at the same time because everyone was so comfortable and confident. And we had so many different aged women in there, and it was just okay, this was a good step. But anyway, back to Nicole. So she would conveniently place herself whenever we were getting dressed.
Oh, Nicole.
Where I would always try and put myself into a little corner where I didn't, where I was partially kind of hidden, but not really, so that everyone didn't think that I was hiding myself, but I felt like I was hidden, Wow. So I would do that. It was
yeah, that's
very, it was intense.
You had blueprints in your room.
I had plans, girl. Okay. Listen, yes. And I remember just every time I would take off my fairy bottom pants and I would stand up. Nicole would be in front of me doing some sort of yoga instructor half bend to take off her pants. And it was just always, and I remember thinking don't look at her butt, don't look at her butt. And so I would always try to not look, but every time it was there. Every time I came up from changing something, she was just there. And I was oh no.
We'd never even at school had a flirtation or anything, but we're at this party. This is a couple years out of college, and we're flirting with each other. And I'm I don't know. He was gorgeous. He was just way out of my league, really, really attractive guy. And he ended up coming home with me. And it was sort of known about him that he was pretty religious. So he was we're not gonna have sex. I'm not having sex until marriage. And I was great, that's perfect, yay, awesome. But so we're naked in my bed doing a lot of not having sex, but doing a lot of other stuff, and I was so fucking deeply not into it. And everyone back in college had called me Flans, that was my cool
that's her last
nickname. Oh yeah, sorry, it's my last name. And there was this one point, it was a movie. I remember I'm fully naked, and this guy, bless his heart, he literally looks up from between my legs and he goes, "Hey Flans, are you okay?" And I don't know if you've ever been called your last name in bed, but it's a good indication that things are not in a sexy or romantic place. So he goes, "Hey Flans, are you okay?" And I went, "I'm really sorry. I think I'm gay." Yeah.
Wait, so how far? I was going to ask you this. How far back are we taking the coming out? Just some little threads, and then when my mother asked me if I was gay, I think that's where it's
That's
gonna
a
head.
spoiler, yeah. No, whatever feel. I mean, a lot of people definitely talk about the self coming out, like
They're
the
like,
N-word.
I realized when I was little, when I thought that I saw boobs, and I was like, oh no. I want to eat them. I don't know. Like, it was like,
Nicole, have you even listened to any of our guests?
You know what? That is my story. Thank you guys for having me. I see boobs and I want to eat them.
Wait, we gotta pause this. Nicole, are you even queer? This is what I find out. Nicole's like gay ladies want to eat boobs, right? She's got like an earpiece and like a lesbian is telling her.
I promise that's not what I'm thinking when in said situation. Anyway.
You put a piece, like a grilled cheese on a boob, and then you're like, "That's my favorite sandwich," and then boob. Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so when did you realize
when
that?
I knew. That's when I knew. Well, I always loved grilled cheese. And then I saw a woman walking down the street with 2 grilled cheese sandwiches taped to her boobs, and I was like, I'm gay.
Oh, boy.
Oh my god.
But the way I came out, which is why I was trying to tell you that night in Tampa.
I wouldn't let
but
you.
I was so adamant about I don't like confrontation. I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
I think everyone should just be happy and just, marry. So I decided to invite my girlfriend, who still thought I was 18 at the time, who my parents had no idea about. I decided to invite her to my parents' house after my parents were in bed, and I decided that it would be a good way to let my parents know what the fuck was going on with me by just having my mom come in to wake me up for school, and my girlfriend was in the bed. And that's God! Yeah, so that's how I came out, and I made sure that like I was not wearing a shirt. So. Yeah, so I've never said, Mom, I'm gay, Dad, I'm gay. I would let my parents walk in to us in a bed. And that's how I came out.
I love that is the opposite of confrontation to you. Like, I love the math of
That's like the extreme
Exactly,
sports
right?
version of that. And I hate this expression, but that is the most balls to the wall coming out story I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Really?
What? Yes,
Wow.
that's so bold.
Basically, my very religious upbringing, we weren't allowed to listen to like secular music growing up. We weren't allowed to have anything with magic. Like, I wasn't allowed to watch the Smurfs. Like, it was very intense. And so I was home visiting my grandparents from college, and my grandmother took me out for lunch, and she was like just being really weird. Like, I could tell something was on her mind, and she just wasn't bringing it up, and I kept asking her if she was okay, and she kept blowing it off. And then they live on the coast of North Carolina. So then after that, she like drove to the beach and parked, and I was like, what's happening? And then she was like, I want to talk to you about some things. And I was like, okay, what? And first she was like, are you on drugs? Are you doing drugs? And I was like, I mean, I've tried pot. I don't know what this question, I'm not like on drugs. Like, no,
like not currently. Yeah. Do you want to get high? Like, what is this?
Like, what's happening? I was like, okay. And then she was finally like, I think that I'm concerned that you are practicing witchcraft. And I was like, wait,
that's
what?
Left field, yeah.
And I was like,
you're like, of all the things that we might have talked about.
And I was like, what? And then it came up because I had been reading Harry Potter books.
A lot of people practicing witchcraft then are in the early 2000s.
I was like light reading in between like my like college course stuff. I had started reading the Harry Potter books and I really liked them, and so it was like a fun thing that I was doing. And and then that became like, you're dabbling in witchcraft. And I was like, I'm not. It's a children's book about magical children who go to a magical school. It's a kid's book that, like, maybe you should be concerned that I'm reading like a kid's book while I'm in college, but like, don't be concerned that I'm dabbling in witchcraft. Which, like, fine if I was, but it was like Harry Potter, so you're dabbling in witchcraft. And I was like,
And I was laughing because I was like, okay, I mean, it's a kid. Have you read them?
Yeah.
And she was like, I know enough about him. And I was just like, okay, well, they're delightful and I love them and I don't know what to tell you. And then she was like, and I think you have a fascination with homosexuality.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, meanwhile, I have like an actual serious girlfriend at the time. And I was like, and she was like, do you have anything to say about this? And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of gay friends, obviously, that you know that. And I was just really starting to panic. And then finally I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, I was just sitting there. She was just letting me like freak out. And I was like, okay, we're having this conversation. And so I said to her, I was like, this isn't when I wanted to tell you or how. Like, I wasn't going to tell you yet. I wasn't ready to tell you yet. But like, and then I guess because we had been talking about Harry Potter,
Oh, no.
I said, I'm a practicing. I said, I'm a practicing lesbian.
And she was like, well, I'm glad you're practicing.
And then I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, why did I say practice?
It's fucking hilarious.
So then she responds and says, practicing, so does that mean that you're having sex?
Oh, shit!
It's like, oh, shit, I opened the door.
Totally
I could have just said I'm a lesbian.
You could have been like, I'm an amateur lesbian.
But I was like, I am practicing. Like, I made it very clear
Yeah, that's hilarious.
that I was like in it.
Landella Safaris is our sponsor. I didn't tell Nicole I was doing that.
I've never loved anything more than what just happened here. So, in case you didn't hear that properly, we have a sponsor called Landella Safaris who we love so much. So much so that we just incorporated them, and by we I mean Lauren, into the Circle of Life song.
Yeah, and you can't sue us for that because it was done with good intentions.
So this is what, and I'm going to just call this other person my grandfather's significant other. So I'll just leave out the name or just do a abbreviation. My dear beloved R. So this is from the voice of my grandfather. In the presence of God, our Father, and our brother, Jesus the Christ, and all of his creation, I take great honor and pride in sharing with you my very being, my love, my care, my respect, my honor, my blood, my life, my all. I pledge all these values plus to you for your well-being forever. I will always be by your side, be your need, even in times apart from each other. I will always be your strength, your comfort, your love, your energy, and true purity of heart and soul. Whereas all these things are true, I, Jay, take you, our whirlwind horse, black-tailed deer, Sinte Sapala, as my only true blood brother, first and last. From now on, we are as one in each other and in our Father God, our source in all eternity with all affinity. We have each other always. So be it, it is done, with divine love, dignity, from... And then it says my grandfather name, and then it's like he had a nickname, Swift Eagle, and in the Native American language, Wambli Luzanhan. So your blood brother, dated April 29th, 1983, and it actually has his blood.
Oh my
on
God.
The corner of the letter.
That's beautiful.
And then this is...
oh my God, I'm dying over here. Holy shit, this is amazing.
So this is what his significant other wrote.
Their handwriting is beautiful, by the way. Of course.
And this is like one of my treasured possessions. Like,
yeah.
So, thy beloved Jay, in the eyes of our Father, the Great Spirit, the four winds, the four moons, the sun, the moon, and Mother Earth, I find it an esteemed honor to share with you the peace, the love, or thy blood, and the greatest of Lakota values, courage, respect, generosity, and fortitude, and with honor, with dignity, and all divine love, I take you, Wanjbli Lujanani, swift eagle, as thy true blood as brother, with all serenity, wisdom, pride, and honor. So it is done, thy brother, so it shall be in affinity and is infinity. For Wanjbli Lujian Han, from Sinti Sapela, April 22nd, 1983, and his blood is smeared, on the edge.
So they wrote their own vows.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, and they, like, officiated their own wedding, basically. That's so beautiful.
It really is beautiful.
Oh, my God. In 83, wow.
So I spent, like, the next couple weeks just trying to figure out what I was going to do, but the more I thought about it, the more I knew it was inevitable. It had to come out. And I usually go to the beach on Sundays. So I went on one Sunday, and my friend Mila, she goes, I've never asked you, but do you like boys or girls? And I go, I like girls, but there are issues. She goes, issues with them? And I go, no, issues with me. She goes, oh, okay. She goes and does whatever she was going to do with her boyfriend. About 5 minutes later, she comes back, she sits down, she says, sit, talk to me. What are the issues? And I go, well, I'm pretty sure that I'm transgender. She got up and started celebrating.
Oh, wow.
And then she goes, next Sunday, bring a skirt. So the following Sunday, I brought a skirt in my backpack. And I go, I got the skirt. She goes, well, what are you waiting for? Put it on. I put it on, and I felt so free.
And was that the first?
That was the first time in public.
In public, yeah.
And I was right at the beach in May, so there were tons of people. And I didn't care.
Okay. Gustav, stop walking around upstairs, please.
Jesus. What is he getting his steps in?
Sounds like it.
What the fuck? I don't know.
He did have one of those bracelets at one point.
Oh, God.
It drove me insane.
Of course he did.
And then I think he like ruined it with water, and I was like, oops.
A bracelet can be ruined by water. That's smart.
Well, I mean, our phones can too.
Yeah, but you don't wear a phone on your wrist and wash your hands a bunch of times a day. Like, that just seems impractical.
Fair. But like, you do put it in your back pocket and then it falls in a toilet. Theoretically.
That's never happened to me. I'm very proud.
It's never happened to me either. Knock on wood. But it
never...
definitely happened to a girl at Coachella in the porta potty.
What hasn't happened? Ooh.
She walked out and she was like to her friends. She was like, oh my God, my phone is
she didn't get it, did
yeah,
she?
because she was like, should I like
no,
get it? And they were like, no, it's a goner.
A new phone now,
it's a goner.
That's the most disgusting. I can't believe she was even considering it.
I think she was in shock. I'll be honest. I think she was in shock. She didn't know what to do. She thought about diving for it.
God bless that girl.
I wish she would stop walking around upstairs.
Okay. Well, we got some really good outtakes.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Okay. All right. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
So...
And print.
And so I decided to go to the gyno to see what was, going on with my body. And I remember and also with my boyfriend, I couldn't get turned on at all. When I would masturbate, it was, everything was working fine, but it was just confusing. So I went to the gyno. I'm in my little paper robe, and in walks... This is what's different from the show.
This is what I was going to ask.
The most beautiful, one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, she walked in and I was like, who is this movie star that is in a doctor's scrubs? What is happening right now? And it was really confusing because my mind, at no point was my mind you're gay, but my body was like, hey, what's up? What is going on here? So I, so she sat down, and I like got nervous. You know, like my cheeks got warm, and I was like, "Why am I nervous? Why am I like giggling?" And,
hot gynecologist is my nightmare. Like literally my nightmare.
Yeah. So I was really flustered, and she like asked me some questions. So I told her, you know, I was like, "I'm throwing up during sex. I'm not able to get aroused. Like all these things." So she, you know, leaves the room so I can get on the table.
Yeah. Get in the stirrups.
Get in the stirrups, baby.
Assume the position.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And she comes back in and proceeds to give me the exam, and my giggle. Yeah, I just was getting very physically turned on. And when it came to the internal exam, my can I say pussy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can say all the words.
My pussy was just very, very clear, like throbbing. I mean, like very clearly aroused. Like,
and she knows what that is. You know.
Oh my God, I love this.
She's
so
a professional.
much.
Yeah. So yeah, I like, oh my God. I honestly, and I really do remember laying there and being like, what? Stop it, body. Like, why are you doing this to me? This is insane. Like, you haven't been able to do this with your boyfriend. You know what I mean?
God,
just like, why is this happening? This is so embarrassing. What is wrong with me? And she stops the exam right after that. And she takes off her clothes. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, damn.
He's like, I'm not a real doctor.
God.
Good news.
No, but she leaves the room. And she's like, okay, the exam's over. You can get dressed. And she leaves the room. And for a second, I was like, did she notice? Like, what's like? Also, I was just shaken up. And she comes back in, and she sits down, and she was like, everything is physically totally normal. I do think that maybe you have a little soul searching to do.
Oh, God bless her.
Right? And I was like, still though, at no point was I like, oh, I'm gay. Honestly.
Totally. Yeah,
at no point.
And she didn't say that.
She did not say that. Which actually I'm glad she
I think
didn't.
it's good.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I'm hot. I know it. You know it.
Oh my God.
I got a call from like the cousin that pulled the short straw. I'm certain of it. I'm certain that they talked about it, and whoever felt like pulled the short straw that like called and was like, so can I talk to you about something? Your friend such and such. There's some friends that you let spend time around your husband and some friends that you don't. Or that at least you want to make sure you're around, or that they don't stay at the house when you're not there. I really think maybe you should consider her. I'm like, okay. I said, sit down.
You're like, I'm about to blow your mind.
I was
right
like,
now.
let me just explain to you. But to my cousin's credit, who actually she's very Christian, but she's very like open-minded Christian, which I think is like, I explained the whole thing to her, and she's like, oh, well, okay then.
It's better than what she thought was going on.
Right.
But that's the thing, is that like when, I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm gonna vomit right now. I want to say so many things.
Say some stuff and we can cut it. Also, I will remind you that this is going to be released after you've done the polypanel.
I know. I thought about that too.
After you've done the what? Oh,
the polypanel.
So you have that information will at least be accessible. So I think feel free to say whatever you want, and we can always cut it. But see how you feel after you do the panel. Like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not out as poly on the podcast yet.
Oh, well.
But she's been dropping.
But I've been.
No, you haven't. I've been listening. I've been listening very carefully. And like, she's dropped hints before, and everything is like, if you're reading between the lines, you'll know. But there are plenty of people, because I deal with them on Twitter, who are sweetly oblivious.
I've been doing what we're calling a
soft rollout.
A soft rollout.
Well, this is your coming out.
A soft opening. No, exactly.
No, we're saving that for 50, and I agree.
She wants to do a full episode. I'm actually more scared of doing a full episode of me coming out,
we'll do whatever
because
you
that's
want.
when my mom might die. So
We'll
like
do literally whatever you want.
My mother had to get over that a long time ago because of Cherry Bomb. We did a poly episode on Cherry Bomb.
See, but it's so inspiring.
So you know what's
my mom's gonna listen to this whole episode, which is so good. And she already loves you from my YouTube show.
That's important.
It's it's interesting. Like the poly thing, I think for people don't understand it. It's uncomfortable for them. We don't have any societal mirror backs to show people how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And when people are unwilling to talk about it, then that makes it a whole other thing. Obviously me and my ex-husband aren't together anymore because I keep calling him my ex-husband. But we we talked about whether or not we were going to be in the closet even back then. And we made a choice not to be. A deliberate choice to not be in the closet in the industry or any place else, because we're like, when you're in the closet, people just look for the secrets. And then they end up outing you anyway. And I would much rather have been authentic and open from the beginning, so that anybody who's around is just like, oh, I already knew that. Or, oh, she already said something about it. Or, oh, it was already in that interview.
Yeah.
It's safer, and it makes it less of a harsh point.
Again, normalizing. Yes. That was exactly where I was going to go when I almost just word vomited 2 minutes ago. All right, here we go. So that's the point at which I've been coming. I'm probably going to cry. Okay. That's the point at which I've been coming to recently. It's I just don't. I don't want people to think I'm shady, and and I don't want people to think that the people that I'm with are shady, and so I'm poly. So for our listeners, and I'm crying about it right now. But and that's been it was my second coming out. I'm not going to go into it right now because it's Delilah's episode. We will talk about it another time. I will explain all of that, but it has gotten to the point now, this is several years in, and especially having someone in my life that I care about a lot who is not my husband, but who my husband also loves in a platonic way. Mm-hmm. It has gotten to the point where I'm this is now gonna start it looking shady, really shady. And I don't want anybody to think that. I don't want to feel shame, because I don't feel shame about this. There's nothing shameful. Everything is so above board, completely agreed upon, totally honest and communicative, and really beautiful in so many ways. And I'm not going to dance around it with people anymore.
She thanks me every single day for just embracing her as she is. Yeah. And she's a beautiful singer-songwriter. There's no way she could have done what she did without our love and support.
Totally.
Of course, And so I think of all these kids, these beautiful people whose lives are being truncated by a messed up theology that they're beaten down with. So, but reach out to us. We will get you connected. And I want you to know, if you are that person, that you are loved, you are worthy, you matter, you belong. You're here on this earth for such a time as this. You are needed. Don't let anybody convince you that you shouldn't be here, because you need to be here. God put you here. No person can tell you shouldn't be here. And you have a place, and you're valuable. And come to us. We'll help you find where you fit in community. But you deserve to be loved. You deserve to love. You deserve to know that God loves you. You deserve to know you have a place on this planet with your name on it where you fit perfectly, and people will love you and be there for you. You just have to get connected to them.
This song is about after I came out, to everyone. So I had come out to my parents, and then I held off from the rest of people because I was like, this feels awful. I don't like this. There's no parade, there's no like sprinkles and stuff. It was really hard and painful, and it took a lot of time. And I was also
specifically post parents. It took
because it was really only my immediate community who knew my girlfriend and my parents, and I was like, for the whole public image as a musician, I don't think I'm ready. And I was writing about it a lot, but then I couldn't put these songs out because I was like, So it was my way of kind of self-soothing, but then I couldn't actually use the songs I was making. So that was hard. So I got really depressed, and then I was like, this is dumb. So I wrote a song called I Feel Better Now because I was trying to cheer myself up. And this is that song. So when I say everybody says just keep going, both of you, as my audience normally does at a show, you're going to yell, go, 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 and I'll help you with it. But you're going to get it, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
I'm so excited now. I was going to have to perform today.
I had never been all the way to hell and back again, but thanks to you, I'm a seasoned traveler, and I cannot explain the types of pain inside and out. I've had my doubts, and they've had me too. Everybody says just keep going, go, 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 but sometimes I don't want to. That was great. One more time. Ready?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready now.
Everybody says just keep going, go, go, go. When I close my eyes, I see you, and I feel better now. Oh, oh, I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now. How it takes a whole lot longer than you think to hit a rock bottom, but there, I did it. There, I've done it. Now I'm coming up from it, and they don't get to decide when I'm on the rise and when I'm not. 'Cause I've done this and I did that, and if you're counting my mistakes, I've sure done a lot. Everybody says just keep going, go, 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 but sometimes I don't want to. Everybody says just keep going, go, go, go. When I close my eyes, I see you, and I feel better now. Oh, oh, I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now. Oh, oh, snap. I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now. Oh, hey, oh, I feel better now.
And that's it. We really hope that you all enjoyed that highlights reel of the podcast.
You laughed, you cried. It was better than Cats. Not a high bar, but I think we can all agree.
Yeah, it or leapt Cats, if you will.
Oh, I will. So thank y'all so much for listening. And if listening to this little retrospective has reminded you how much you love this podcast, hey, you know what you could do? You could pop on over to iTunes/Apple Podcasts. You could click those 5 stars and maybe even write us a little review. It helps people to find the podcast. It helps us in the algorithm, blah, 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 robots. But basically, we want to be able to bring you another 100 episodes and then another 100 after that and then infinity episodes. We want to bring you infinity episodes.
That's a high bar.
Yeah, well, I said it and now it's happening.
there it is. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will talk to y'all next Wednesday.
Buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers. These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!